WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. And this is something just brand new on the market over here in Europe, and that is the COTSWOLDS Single Malt Whiskey. I have the edition 2014 Odyssey Barley. Very, very interesting distillery. Now, Don Sor, S-Z-O-R, born in New York City, made his fortune as a banker in London, cashed out, and then bought his place of residence in the heart of England between Oxford and Birmingham, in that naturally beautiful place around Cotswolds. It's an area. And then he might have got bored and had an idea. Let's combine my passion for whiskey with a new hobby. And so he decided to start a distillery. He found two old buildings, totally restored everything, and built a distillery in there. Now, he met someone while learning to become a distiller, Nicholas Franchino. This guy's got a history. He has his BA, I think it was in medieval philosophy or something, and then his master's in something totally different. He was a cage fighter, and for many, many generations, his own family in Italy produced a lot of spirits. And so he decided, I think I want to follow my passion and also create spirits. He's now the head distiller there. Now, this bottle here is really, really interesting because they actually tell you where the barley came from. So, I have to read to the right place. So, the Odyssey Barley from the Bradwell Grove Farm, the first single malt whiskey ever made in the Cotswolds, matured in specifically selected first fill oak barrels, non-chilled filtered. So this is batch number 03 2017, and this is the bottles. They were 6,800. So even on the bottle here we have the exact same sticker. Now the first barley was actually harvested here by the farmer named Reggie Hayworth on the 8th of August 2014. You can read online on the blog about that. They took that barley and they took it to the Warminster floor malt, and they actually spent the next month malting this whiskey the old-fashioned way. They started distilling in 2014, and they use a 500 kilogram mash tun. They have a fermentation process of 90 hours where they use two different strands, two different types of yeast, anchor yeast and fermentis yeast. They're supposed to complement each other to get the most out of that barley. And then they distill it. The first still is called Mary. The second still is called Yanis. What are the names of Don's children? Then they put it in barrels at 65.3% ABV. Now these barrels here in this batch are very unique because you have 30% that were first fill bourbon barrels, 200 liters, and then the rest of the 70% were reconditioned 225 liter red wine barrels. What does recondition mean? So they shave the inside of the barrel, they toast the barrels anew, and then they char them. Unfortunately, I did not find out what level of char they had. So and then they lay this spirit to rest and they fill it up with 46%, non-chilled filter, no coloring added. So you can actually see that this has a little bit of a red hue to it because of the red wine. So at least that's what I'm assuming. Now, this distillery is really kind of cool. A lot of transparency, very, very, very nice. But it's only 3 years old, so you can't expect that much. So the Cotswolds Distillery. So Cotswolds single grain malt whiskey is made from grain to glass right here in our distillery using local barley from the Cotswolds, which is mashed and fermented in a full 4 days before being distilled twice in our bespoke copper pot stills. They're then aged in premium ex-bourbon and reconditioned red wine casks before being blended and bottled here at the distillery. So, according to this nice little thing here, I should have honey and butterscotch layered with light fruits, peaches and apricots, and a hint of marzipan. Well, I'm sorry, I don't get any of that, actually. I get a lot of grain. I do get a hint of marzipan, they're right about that. That is a cinnamon almond type of mixture with a little bit of rose water mixed in there. But I do get a lot of the grain, and I do get a lot of the creaminess of that grain. But it does seem fairly young in my nose. So, let's try this. Wow, young. Sometimes when you have a very young whiskey, it has a little bit of metallic taste. That's what I'm getting here. There's a lot of tannins, a lot of bitterness, and there's a little bit of a red wine type of moment there. So it says here, tannin-rich malt, well, yep. Oils and dark sugar with lots of spice, caramelized Seville orange marmalade. Nope. Wow, they paid a lot of money to have someone market this one. Very, very interesting. It is a long aftertaste. The finish is very, very long. At least it's fairly long, but it's not great what I have in my mouth here. It's not as sweet as I would like it to be honest. Now, it's not bad for 3 years old. I would like to try to do something here. So, there are a couple new distilleries out on the market here. And this is one of them that is not from Scotland, but rather instead from Wales. So if I can open up my package here, I would like to try this instead. Now, this is also basically a 3-year-old whiskey, and instead it was finished with Madeira, which is a wonderful, wonderful wine. This is the Penderyn single malt Welsh whiskey, and non-chilled filter. About 10 euros cheaper than this, to be very, very honest. So I need new glasses. I would just like to try the difference. Even with the color, you notice immediately, at least I do over here, that this is much, much lighter than this, which is nice. So on the nose, they could be cousins. Yeah. The Madeira has a great fruity type of, just aroma and taste. Very, very, very nice. I love the packaging, by the way, and I think they just change this little stripe here each and every time, and they keep the box, the design, well designed. A lot of information on the box, a lot of marketing, but a lot of good background information as well. Well done, gentlemen, for that. 46%. This is also 46%. I like the bottle. It looks a little bit like a grappa bottle. This definitely looks more like a whiskey bottle for me. It looks almost like the rare breed here from Kentucky, from Wild Turkey. But they're both fairly young. The finish is just nice on this. That Madeira just kind of covers all the things that are not perfect yet in this whiskey. Ooh, I get a lot of pear. A lot of pear at the end. Over here, though, I get actually, it's a little bit better than that. It grows on you, but it still has that metallic tannin moment. 5 years, 8 years. This is going to be really, really good stuff, people. But it needs some time. They're getting there, but they're not there yet. This is going to be a solid C. Now, I paid 45 euros for this. It's about $50 for a 3-year-old bottle of whiskey from England, and so it's a little bit overpriced. I'm going to give it like a D. Now, I do expect great things from this distillery. It's very, very interesting what they have and what they're doing. Also here, if you ever have your chance to get your hands on any of the Penderyn, also they are doing interesting things there in Wales. And good whiskey doesn't have to just be from Scotland. And that's my question of the day. What whiskies do you know of, well, except for these two, that are produced on the island of Great Britain, not Ireland, not North Ireland, but just on the island, that are not in Scotland? So what other distilleries have you heard of, or do you know of, or you've even tried from the great island of England or Wales? All right, so this was Whiskey Jason here, tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Thank you very much for liking my videos, for subscribing to my videos, telling other people about this crazy American over here in Europe tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. My videos come out on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon. Bye-bye.